Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We've got the divisional round coming up this weekend, and it is 4 big games in the NFL, and we're also going to cover or pick the national title game in college football, which is on Monday. Yes, so we went 4-2 in the wild card round, so that's our playoff record so far on the Play Action Sports Show. We went 49-35 during the season. That puts us at 58%. Not so great, but not so bad either. The average better, 50-50, probably less than that. We picked a number of upsets, though, like the Bills versus Pats early in the season, where we picked the exact score, as a matter of fact, for the Patriots beating the Pats. Actually, it was the Pats over Bills. Excuse me. I did. A little out of it right now. Indiana, we picked them to beat Oregon. That was a huge upset, and we picked it twice. They beat them again in the college football playoffs. I think it was the Orange Bowl, or I don't know. In any event, the second time wasn't as big of an upset. Of course, we got our pick 5 this week. We're not picking 6, no, because we're down to 4 NFL games and we've got the 1 college game. So let's do it. As always, before we do our picks, I want to go ahead and thank you for tuning in all season long with us here and watching our shorts. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you very much. And we're going to do this week, we're going to do the championship week, we're going to do Super Bowl week, and what are we going to do during the bye week? I don't know. Maybe we're going to have to do something clever. I don't know what. Pick 5 for the week here. It's the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. The first game is going to be the Bills at Broncos. That's right, the Bills at Broncos. The Bills beat them last year in the playoffs convincingly. Josh Allen looks like he's on a roll. For that and more, I'm going to pick the Bills to win 23-21. They're going to come to Denver. They're going to beat them in Mile High. The Broncos are 1-point favorites, but the Bills are going to win by 2. It's a 45.5 over-under, so that is the under on that game. Next, we've got the 49ers at Seahawks. Yes, the Seahawks coming in a 7-point favorite. It's a 45 OU. It's been a little bit of a layoff for the Seahawks, but they are really, really hot. I think they're going to beat the 49ers, which means I'm going to have to revise my Super Bowl pick. So the Seahawks are going to beat them 27-24. It's going to be a 3-point game. They're not quite going to cover, but they're going to beat the 49ers in advance. Next, we've got the Texans going at the Patriots in Foxborough. Patriots are 3-point favorites in this game. Now, last week we picked the Steelers to beat the Texans, and of course the Texans beat them. This week we're going to pick the Texans. The reason being, though, it's not because of last week. It's because the Patriots have faced very little resistance in about 3 of their last 4 games. I mean, they faced Miami, they faced Baltimore, they faced, I think it was the Jets, and the Chargers. I mean, that game's a little bit of an anomaly because it was a low-scoring affair. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Texans over the Patriots, 24-23. You got to go with C.J. Stroud in this one and that incredible Texans defense. 40.5 is the over-under, so it's an over for sure. All right, the last NFL game before we get to the national championship of college football. My team, the Rams, at Bears. Yes, could be the last game. Actually, it probably will be the last game played at Soldier Field. Which I guess maybe if the 49ers beat the Seahawks and the Bears win, I don't know how their records match up. But I'm going to go ahead and pick, listen, all year long I avoided picking my home team, the Rams, for a good reason. I don't want to be known as, just going with the home team. So I'm going to go with the Bears to win 30-27. It's a 48.5 OU, so that is the over by far. The Rams are 4-point favorites. They have a hard time holding leads. You can hear my sick pet over there. It's 30-27, Bears over the Rams. I hate to say it, but that's the way I call it. I'm calling it here. Let's go finally to the Miami at Indiana, or the Miami-Indiana National Championship game of college football. All year long, it's been an amazing journey for the Indiana Hoosiers. Miami Hurricanes are number 10 in the nation. Indiana, of course, number 1. 47.5 OU, and Indiana's an 8.5 point favorite. I think they win by 7. I think they're not quite going to cover, but they're going to win 35-28. That's a 7-point difference. Number 1 Indiana over number 10 Miami. And that's going to be our picks for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, like always, gamble responsibly. And take care of yourselves. Enjoy this weekend's games. You know, I started to think that I miss Taylor Swift, you know, this playoffs. But then I remembered that if we get to see Taylor Swift, we also have to see the Chiefs. All right, I'm kidding. No, she's sort of the first lady of football. I don't know, something weird there. That's the way I think of her, I guess. Let's go to some news before we wrap this show up, and I reattend to my pets over here who are undergoing medical procedures. You could probably guess what's going on. Bo Bichette to the Mets. What is this, Poetry Day? Yeah, Bo Bichette got signed with the Mets. That means he's no longer going to be a Blue Jay. I wonder what Vladdy's going to do. I don't know. I don't even know much about the signings this offseason except for like some of the Japanese players that have come over. You know, the big slugger that went over to Chicago White Sox, and of course the Dodgers picking up a couple of signings. Houston Astros picking up another Japanese all-star. You know, will John Harbaugh coach the Giants? That seems to be the big question going into this week. He's working out some sort of a deal, you know, logistics, operations, control. It's probably a control thing, you know, who decides what. I think John Harbaugh would like to have more control than less. You know, but it makes me wonder, you know, what about bringing in some college coaches to try their hand at the NFL? What about maybe hiring away an offensive coordinator from another team to help him work with Jackson Dart in that offense? You know, I don't know. John Harbaugh, you know, he really didn't go very many places with the Baltimore Ravens, although the Ravens have always been a very solid team. But it just hasn't proven that they can do it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this show before I say anything else that gets me in trouble here. You guys take care of yourselves. Thank you for tuning in again. Next week, look out for the conference championship. It's going to be great. And enjoy that national championship on Monday night. You can't beat college football in America.